Alright, we're back. This is Nightmare again with Twisted Nightmare Gaming, and we have
Scott
from
West Orange Comics and Video Games.
And do you want to plug a channel?
Florida Geek Scene.
Alright. And what are you going to be profiling today for me, man?
A BPRD deck from Versus.
Alright, just give us a little brief explanation of what Versus is, because I know a lot of my people on my channel don't know what Versus is. So
Versus is a superhero supervillain card game by Upper Deck. There's two versions of them. There is the original version, which is this, which is a TCG version where they had booster packs and such, and you could build decks out of booster packs. And then there's another version called 2PCG, which is a living card game, or this is, I don't know the name that they call it, where like where the decks and such already come together. There's no booster packs for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this is actually my favorite mat, my Fin Fang Fu mat by Mike Mignola. This is my Hellboy deck, all drawn by Mike Mignola also. And yeah, I guess
let's go ahead and get started.
All right. So just So we want to just show you cards. How do you want?
Yeah, just explain what they do and things like that, and what made you decide to put those specific cards in the deck.
So all the blue cards. Want me to turn around this way?
Yeah.
So all the blue cards are plot twists.
Okay.
Plot twists essentially help you out during battle or during phases of the game. So there's a few phases of the game. So there's build, combat, and recovery.
Okay.
And plot twists can help you in between all those phases, or during the phases rather. Gray cards are equipment, which is equipment stacks onto your character. So essentially, it adds an effect to your character. It's like a mod.
Okay.
And then there are locations. Locations are sort of equivalent to what plot twists are, except that plot twists work for a single time, or there's also ongoing plot twists, but this is just a regular plot twist. Locations are essentially always ongoing unless they say something like activate, which means you have to tap it to use the effect. Which I don't think this doesn't have an activate. But then character-wise, there are a couple different characters. So there's hidden characters, which are concealed, which have a black border, which means that this character can attack you or your characters, but it can't be attacked unless you have a way to attack it, because it's hidden. So it's technically in a hidden zone where it's there, but you can't see it.
Okay. So it's like John Cena.
Yes, exactly like John Cena. You can't see him. Yes.
You knew I was gonna do that to you eventually.
That's great. You know that was funny, Alex. So regular characters have a red border, and they are there's a visible and non-visible part of the field. So they stay on the visible part. Right. The only way that they can be moved to the hidden part is if I have a way to move them, or if an opponent has a way to get them out of the way.
Okay.
Because if there's nobody, so as long as there's a character here, you have to attack the character first.
Oh,
if the character is gone, then you can attack directly.
Gotcha.
So if you can't attack the character, but you can move it out of the way, then you can attack directly, and you're going to get more out of attacking me directly, because you don't have to go through a character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's see, what else? Those are all the types of cards. So you want me to start from...
Start either way you would like to. Whichever way is easiest for you to explain it.
Okay, so... Alright. So let's see here. Versus works on a number curve.
Okay.
So for every resource that you drop, you want to drop a character of the same. or at least close to it. So one resource burns for one character.
All right.
Let's see here. 2 resources means that you can put out a second character.
All right.
But say you have 3 resources at once. You can put out both of them at the same time.
Gotcha.
Because the resources burn according to the numbers.
Right.
And when I say burn, it means that the drop can only happen for that time, but it doesn't actually burn the resource to where you can't use it.
Gotcha.
You can't flip it. So I guess I'll just show you the character. I'll show you what's in here according to resources and characters first, I guess. So if you know the Hellboy comics or the movies, you know Hellboy when he's found by the U.S. government in the Nazi camp.
Yep.
So it's Hellboy, but in the comics they also call him Hellbaby or Hellboy Jr.
Yeah.
He's the 1 drop. Kate Corrigan is the 2nd drop. So what Hellboy does is he has +1 attack for each other BPRD character I control. So if I had 7 characters out, he'd be an 8/1 at a 1 drop. But this is a character that you kind of just want to get out of the way at first.
Right.
You don't really want him to come out after 7 characters, because he's essentially still kind of weak.
Right.
But
His attack would be decent, but there's no sense.
Defense is
it's really bad.
Right. Kate Corrigan lets you search for a location, I believe. Yeah. So she lets you search for a location, which I guess in Magic the Gathering terms, if you play Magic, would be lands.
Yeah.
Equipments would be artifacts. And plot twists, I guess, would be, I don't remember what that would be right now. So, let's see.
Are you able to play the plot twist on your opponent's turn too, or no?
Yeah. You can play
So someone like Yu-Gi-Oh turns would be but in Magic turns it would probably like an instant. That's what I was actually thinking. Was an instant. Yeah.
But really, I think of it more like a trap card because most of the time you have the plot twist already face down the board, right, Scott?
Huh?
Most of the time you already have the plot twist face down the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really does feel like a trap card.
So 3 drop is the professor, who is actually the character who finds Hellboy in the Nazi camp.
Right.
His effect is that when he comes out, that you can search for a character named Hellboy. So what happens is you would do a search your deck for Hellboy. He's a 3 drop. So here's Hellboy, your 4 drop. When Hellboy comes out, if this Hellboy is still here, he gets KO'd because you can't have 2 Hellboys out.
So you can't have 2 of the same card out on
there's
the
only
field.
1 Hellboy, and it's either both named Hellboy.
Right.
So since there's only 1 Hellboy, there's a unique rule. You can only have 1 Hellboy out. So it really doesn't matter that you're KOing him for him, because by this time, he's a 4 drop 8/7 to your 1 drop 1/1. That would be an 8 drop if you had him at 7 drop or 8 drop.
Right.
But his effect is every time he attacks, as long as he's the only visible character on the field, he gets +1/+1 every time he's attacked.
Okay.
So as long as they're gone and he's the only one on the field, he gets that +1/+1. Now your life in this game is called endurance, and his other effect is if you pay 1 endurance, you can return a character to its owner's hand. So basically, if you have a character out and you want to use this top effect, you can pay 1 life to get her off the field.
Oh, okay.
So that leaves him. So 5th drop is Abe Sapien. Abe Sapien is like sort of like the Aquaman of the BPRD.
Yeah.
But
he's also the genius of them too. When it came to the in regards to like the movie, he was
right,
more. He was a
he's
smart.
because he's like really like educated and stuff,
Yes.
you know, like he's reading books underwater and stuff, you know. But yeah, so his effect is as long as he is if he's visible, he becomes a 9/9 instead of a 9/10.
Out there. Put 30 on mine. I'm started.
And then his other effect is whenever a character named Hellboy is attacked, Abe Sapien gives him a +1/+1 on top of his +1/+1.
Oh, okay. So he ends up becoming a 10,
Right.
10-9.
It just kind of loops
Yeah.
together. Let's see here. So my 6-drop is Roger, which is basically a golem. And he's really good for two things. So one is most 6-drops are 12/12s or 12/11s. He's a 13/11, so he's a little bit higher of an attack. But his other thing is that whenever Roger becomes stunned, which means he is attacked and he takes a stun, he takes damage, I can KO him. If I KO him, the opponent loses 4 life, 4 endurance.
Wow.
So the whole basis of this deck is to keep Hellboy on the field by himself,
Gotcha.
because as long as he is the only visible character, he gets all these benefits.
Gotcha. So the way it looks to me is you cover all bases when it comes to attack and defense,
Right.
and then hitting your opponent for life or endurance in this game.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is, well, this is basically a full-on attack deck
Gotcha.
that wants you to use one character, being Hellboy.
Yeah.
So there's decks that are team decks where they want you to have many characters out.
This one is the opposite.
This relies on you just having one visible character. Yeah. So we got a 6-drop. So we have 2 7-drops.
Okay.
So sorry, I'm a little slow here.
Yeah, take your time, man.
So we have 2 7-drops. We have a 7-drop Hellboy,
Okay.
and we have a 7-drop Liz Sherman. Now,
Somehow I knew those two would probably be the the
Right.
2 7s.
yep. So Hellboy's effect is, number one, he's a 16/14. Oh, and by the way, since I didn't let you know before, this little symbol here means range. There's different ways of attacking. You can attack over other characters. You can attack or you can attack directly into the characters. Basically, if you don't have range, you have to attack directly into the. There's 2 rows. There's a support row. There's a support row, which is in the back, and a front row.
Gotcha.
I'm probably terrible at explaining this, but so anyway, Hellboy's effect is that when he comes into play, you can return all of the characters to their owner's hands. If you return a BPRD character, which is the affiliation, you can stun a character with cost 6 or less on the other side of the field.
Gotcha.
So if you were playing me and you had a 6-drop, I could get that character out of the way.
Okay.
And then the other effect I don't use for this deck, so that effect doesn't matter. There's another way to build this deck that has this thing called Doomsday counters, which when you have, I believe it's 3 Doomsday counters, you win the game.
Oh God.
Yeah. But I didn't build that type of deck, so. And then Liz Sherman's effect is you activate her, which means you tap her, and each player loses 8 life, which means even me. Because if you remember the Hellboy movie, remember at the end of the movie, she gets pissed off and she just sets everything on a flame, and he's in the middle of it. So essentially, this is kind of trying to say, like, if she's going to mess you up too. But depending on what's going on at the time, you know, would be whether you use that effect or not, you know. She's also a high attack defense, 15-16.
Yeah.
You can pay 4 resource points, which is your resource row, which I don't have, which I showed you in the beginning that I don't have right now. So if you had 4 that you didn't burn, you could pay those to KO a character cost 5 or less. So you can make everybody lose 8 life, and then just KO a character that's not stunned, not taking any damage. Just KO that character, gone off the field.
Oh wow.
So it's just like kind of brutal that way. So those are the characters.
All right.
So as far as everything else, excuse me, the let's see here.
Oh yeah.
So, sorry.
No, take your time.
Okay. So then, as far as what everything does, plot twist wise, starting at a 1-drop, which means it would be the earliest one you could use. You could use it at any time, according to how many resources you have. But it's a 1-drop. So the only thing less than a 1-drop is a 0-drop, and there really aren't too many 0 resources.
Gotcha.
There might be like a handful, and I don't think there's any in this deck. But so this is called pancakes, and if you remember, and I'm not even sure if in the movie maybe he was eating pancakes.
Yes, he did. Yeah, because they brought in a whole thing of pancakes.
Pancakes, yeah. So in the comics, that's what he eats. Is he's like addicted to pancakes. So the huh?
Sounds like me.
So
sounds like Crash Bandicoot too.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because that was his first words.
Oh yeah.
You had to think about that one too for a second, didn't you?
So what this lets you do is it lets you discard a card to recover a character.
Okay.
So this is basically, like trying to not let you lose characters off the field. But the problem is you want to lose the characters because Hellboy is the only one you want out. So, so Hellboy is the one you want to recover. Essentially. I mean, you can recover whoever you want.
So all roads lead to Hellboy.
Actually, you know what? Character named Hellboy, so it's only for Hellboy anyway. So I'm wrong about that.
I mean, with the card, like with the name of Pancakes, I mean, I kind of figured it would go straight to Hellboy.
Yeah. So another 1-drop plot twist is Flying Kick. Flying Kick's been around since the first series of Versus, which is Marvel Origins. But this is the Hellboy version, so or the BPRD version, really. So the border's a little bit different with the tentacles and stuff, and the picture is out of Hellboy.
Right.
What Flying Kick does is it gives target character +3 attack while attacking, and he also has flight. So basically, if he can't reach a character because he doesn't have flight, this gives that character flight to attack the character he's trying to get to.
Gotcha.
Because there's, like I said, there's a front row and a support row. So if you are in the back row and you're trying to attack the back row of your opponent's team, you can't, because you have to go over your front row character and their front row character.
Right. Okay.
So if you have flight and range, you can go from the back to the back. You can attack anywhere. If you're in the front with flight, you can go over to the back.
Okay.
To the support row, and then if you have range, you can go range over to the front row. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So let's see, Flying Kick. So the company that makes all the gadgets for the BPRD and the comic books is Zinco. So this is called a proud Zinco product. And basically its effect is it can KO an equipment with a cost 1 or less, and also has me gain life.
Okay.
At the same time.
Which kind of makes up for Liz's effect of hitting you for 8.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you use this 2-drop at an 8. Yeah. Or 7 actually. Oh yeah. She's a 7-drop, but 8 life is what you lose. Yeah. Let me see here. So I have these in here. Counter Strike. This is actually from the JLA DC set from Versus, but this effect, the reason I put it in here is because so target defender you control gets +3 attack this attack. Whenever that defender stuns an attacker this turn, you may put a +1/+1 counter on that defender. So Hellboy stacks, that 4-drop Hellboy stacks with counters no matter what, every time he's attacked.
Okay.
As long as you have Ape Sapien out in the hidden area, his effect goes into play, where Hellboy gets his +1/+1 on top of his +1/+1. So if you play counter attack when he's defending, it gives him an extra +1/+1. So you get, depending on how you're playing that at the time, he could get +3/+3.
Right.
You know. Let's see. So here's another 2-drop. It's break off the horns. So if you remember at the end of the first Hellboy movie, where he became the Key of Doom, with his hand, but he didn't want to be evil, so he broke off the horns. Remember, he's always shaving them and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is basically a take from that, and its effect is ready target character named Hellboy. If he's the only visible character you control, he cannot cause breakthrough this turn. So he can attack again, but so there's 2 types of damage. There's 3 types of damage. So there's direct damage, which means that there's no character on the field.
Right.
They're attacking directly, and then there's breakthrough damage, which means that, so like if Hellboy was attacking Kate Corrigan, he's at 13 to her 3, so she'd automatically lose 10, right? Plus her 2, so the breakthrough is the 2, so the 12.
Okay.
I said 3 kinds of damage, right? There's 2 kinds of damage. Sorry. Okay.
So direct and breakthrough.
Right.
Gotcha.
So
And with that card, he can't cause breakthrough damage.
So so Hellboy can attack. He can do a bunch of damage, and then you can ready him again to attack again, but he can't cause the extra damage.
Gotcha.
It's like you just pwned your opponent, but we're not gonna let you do it again.
You can brace up for the next one, but you can't use it no more this time.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you just can't get all the extra damage. And then I already showed you the BPRD signal device, right?
Right. Signal device? No, you showed me the other one.
So this gives a character a +1 defense. Yeah. So I would give it to put that on Hellboy. He'd be whatever he is, +1. So he's an 8/7. He'd be an 8/8.
Okay.
We're gonna try to make it through this.
And then it says concealed optional, so which means that I can also put this on someone who's concealed with a black border, which means that it can go either visible or concealed. So if I pay 1 life or 1 endurance, this certain character, whoever it is, notably probably Hellboy, because they have Hellboy's chest there, his stomach or whatever, he can't be targeted with effects. So if you have an effect to knock him out of the field or stun him, which means he took damage, you can't do it because this equipment blocks that. That makes sense?
No, that makes sense.
And then you said they showed you another equipment? I don't remember which one.
You showed me one of these earlier. It was... The Proud Zinco product. That was the
Oh,
other
Proud
one you
Zinco
showed.
product.
Yeah, you hadn't
Oh, no,
showed.
that's,
That was the first time you showed that
well, no,
one.
that's Proud Zinco product is plot twist. Yeah, I got mixed up. So yeah, I only have that one equipment there. So let's see. Horn.
Yeah, you already showed break off horns.
BPRD HQ. Okay, so then this card here is called Nasty Surprise. This is also out of the original set, Marvel Origins.
Okay.
But they just redid it for Hellboy. I guess it was just easier to put some classic cards in and reimagine them or whatever as Hellboy. So Nasty Surprise is the 1-drop, and its effect is target defender gets +5 attack. So what happens in versus is that the defense can match the attack to stun both characters.
Right.
So
You play that, you get the extra 5.
right, but it also hurts them.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see here. Just going through it. Video.
Teaching versus.
Nah, not teaching it.
Kind of. You kind of are. You're doing an overview versus plus profiling the deck. So
I guess my last 2 cards in the deck are locations, which is BPRD HQ, which is their headquarters,
right.
and Inner Sanctum.
All right. Bless you.
Thank you. And so it's a 2-drop and a 3-drop. So what BPRD HQ does is it's not unique. So you can have the unique rule is broken on this. See where it says BPRD HQ is not unique? Mm-hmm. That means that I can have up to 4 of these out.
Oh God.
Yeah. But the thing is that they all do the same thing. So its effect is when a BPRD HQ, when you flip BPRD HQ, you may discard a BPRD character card. If you do, search your deck for a BPRD character card, reveal it, put it into your deck, and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Its second effect is an activate effect, which means it has to be tapped.
Okay.
So target hidden defender you control has reinforcement this attack. So if you are able to attack a hidden character of mine, he has reinforcement. What reinforcement does is it doesn't let you get breakthrough on a character. So you would just get, it lets you only get the drop cost. So
Gotcha.
it only lets you get the breakthrough, if that makes any sense.
No, I get you.
And then
Inner Sanctum.
So Inner Sanctum, that one there. So Inner Sanctum's effect is it's an activate, so you gotta tap it. And whenever a BPRD defender you control becomes stunned, this attack you may stun target character with a cost 3 or less if you control exactly 1 character.
So Hellboy.
Yeah. So, well, at this point, it doesn't say Hellboy. So,
But more likely
primarily Hellboy. Yes.
Yeah.
So if Hellboy,
because the way you explain the deck is Hellboy is the main one you want on the field. So more likely, if he's more likely going to be the only one on the field at the time.
Right. So if he becomes stunned, and you have a character that's 3 or less, which means this number is a 3 or less, I can automatically stun that character.
Gotcha.
It's just a
trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a, what do you call it? A cycle. Like one happens, the other one happens. Yeah. So, and that's effectively how the deck works. And I'll show you. I'll show you how the field is set up.
Okay.
So the field is set up with resources. So let's see.
That game's amazing, by the way. It's a 4-person like cooperative.
Just for the hell of it, we'll just 7 resources down.
And 3 of your friends basically have to try and take out Venoms. It's a really fun game. We actually demoed it twice.
So
Do you have any Venom?
Like Venom 1.
So then you have 7 resources. You can, if you wanted to, you can start off with your 1 drop. This is your front row.
Okay.
Sorry, give me a second.
Yeah, we get everything. They get God of War. I just got this one.
Sorry, give me a second.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
That's like all of these versions of that.
You need Zach?
No. So, 2 drop would be for a 2 drop.
Probably like,
Okay.
I mean, if you like
Friend,
War
I played
Combat.
Battlefield on my friend's thing one time and it was awesome.
Yeah, Battlefield's beautiful.
3 drop would be
It's just
in the
Concealed.
area.
older
Alright.
and looks.
But it's a lot better though. I mean, like the World War stuff, I'm really not into the older things, but Call of Duty did make it better.
4 drop would come out.
Yeah.
You'd want to get rid of these guys.
You just have to have internet. That's what sucks. So that's why Battlefield 1 makes that one long where it's just like that one little bit better.
5 drop Ape Sapien.
So how many concealed monsters can you have in the back?
Up to 4 usually.
Up to 4? Okay.
6 drop Roger, but then you'd use his effect to get rid of him.
It comes out like every week, so and the story's amazing.
This deck doesn't have anybody who's really set for the support row because everyone's mainly a front row character.
Right.
And then lastly, maybe, or actually you could probably just do,
It's a certain kind of terrible.
It's like the first system ever made.
actually, let's see, let's do Hellboy for Hellboy, 7 drop.
Okay.
And then by that time, it may not even matter if you have 1 character out or not, so you could
It's called the Game & Watch. It's a little tiny like handheld electronic device.
bring out
It
this.
was like a little like like mini game thing basically. Yeah, and then after that came the NES.
So
After the NES, the Super.
that's essentially how the game works according to resource.
Okay. So the more resources you have out, the more you can actually do in a turn. Gotcha.
Right.
Well, this is fascinating on the PS.
So that's essentially the game.
All right, Scott. Hey, that was a great overview and profiling of the Hellboy BPRD deck for Versus. Is there anything else you want to say for the audience, man?
Come visit our store, West Orange Comics and Video Games, in Ocoee. Find us on Facebook or Instagram, and visit my website, FloridaGeekScene.com.
All right.
And if you go to conventions, you should check out the Claremont Comic Con, Sunday, November 18th.
All right. Again, this is Nightmare with Twisted Nightmare Gaming. Again, we're at West Orange Comics and Games in Ocoee. This was Scott profiling and doing an overview of his BPRD versus deck. All right, guys, you have a great rest of your night.